Your great grandmother's portrait is probably still hanging in someone's home within your family, being seen, remembered, and cherished, right? But your family photos from last year, they're likely buried in your phone mixed in with 10,000 other images and screenshots. I'm Rebecca, and after creating heirloom family portraits for over a decade, I've discovered 5 hidden elements that determine whether your photos become forgotten files or treasured heirlooms. Today, I'm sharing those 5 elements so your next family session creates something that actually lasts. Because in a world of disappearing social media posts, your family's love story deserves to be preserved forever. Element 1. Capturing meaningful moments, not just random ones. The portraits that become family treasures aren't taken on random weekends. They're created during meaningful chapters in your family story. Maybe it's the season before your teenager heads off to college, or when your family finally settled into a new home, or after you've made it through a hard season and want to celebrate being together. These moments carry emotional weight, and that's what gives a portrait its power. Years from now, when your family looks back, they won't just remember how everyone looked. They'll remember what was happening in their lives and why that moment mattered. Element 2. Passing down the story, not just the picture. The portraits that truly become heirlooms don't just show faces, they carry a story. When your children inherit these portraits one day, they won't just want to know who's in them. They'll want to know when it was taken, what was happening in your lives, and why that moment mattered enough to preserve. Families whose portraits get passed down through generations make sure the story travels with the artwork. Expert tip. This is actually a perfect time for you to take a moment to write down the season of life that you are in. What are you celebrating and why you are choosing to capture this moment? Because when a portrait has its story, it becomes part of your family's history, not just a decoration. And if you've ever invested in family photos only to watch them get lost on your phone or tucked away in a drawer, you don't have to let that happen again. After 13 years of helping thousands of families preserve their most meaningful moments, I know these 5 elements are what separates photos that get forgotten from the artwork that gets passed down for generations. And if you're ready to create portraits that mark the meaningful moments in your family's story and become true heirlooms your children will treasure, there's a special opportunity available for you now. You can learn more through the link in the description. Element 3. Display them like they matter. The difference between portraits that get noticed and portraits that get overlooked often come down to how they're being displayed. When you invest in capturing your family, those portraits should be large enough and placed intentionally enough that the love you share is immediately felt. The families whose portraits become focal points in their homes treat them as a celebration of what matters most, because your family isn't background decor. It's the heart of your life. Element 4. Choosing timeless over trendy. The families whose portraits still look beautiful decades later all made the same choice. They choose timeless over trendy. Soft neutrals, elegant tones, classic styling that lets the family, not the fleeting trends, shine. The portraits that ended up in storage are often too focused on what was in that year. The portraits that lasted were designed to feel beautiful forever. Element 5. Understanding that you're preserving memories, not just pictures. The families who loved their portraits for generations understood one simple truth. They weren't buying photos. They were investing in how their family would be remembered. They chose quality materials that would last. They worked with artists who understood family, and they prioritized meaning over convenience. Because snapshots fade, heirlooms carry love forward. Bottom line, if you're tired of family photos that get buried on your phone while your memories quietly disappear, you're not alone. I've spent my entire career studying what makes some families' portraits become treasured heirlooms while others get lost in the shuffle. And these 5 elements truly make the difference. If you would like more insight into creating meaningful family memories that stand the test of time, make sure to subscribe and turn on notifications. I share everything I know about turning ordinary moments into extraordinary keepsakes that your family, children, and grandchildren will treasure forever, because your family love story deserves to last for generations.